how can men help? And what I usually answer to that is one word: listen. Just listen. Yeah, don't start solving my problem. Don't tell me what to do. Just listen.
Welcome back to The Unknowns. Today we have Gloria Feldt, a longtime advocate of intersectional gender parity. She's also CEO and co-founder of Take the Lead. She's also a published author of Intentioning Sex, Power, Pandemics, and How Women Will Take the Lead for Everyone's Good. That's a long title. That's a big goal.
Women and men have literally been socialized differently around power and intentionality. And so much is better today. I mean, younger girls today are so much more likely to have been told they can do anything, they will do anything. If you think about it, though, even babies now, when you see a baby boy, you're most likely to say, oh, he's so handsome, he's so strong. When you see a baby girl, you're most likely to say, oh, she's so pretty, she's so nice. And that little twist makes a big difference in how we think about ourselves.
But are there inherent chemical differences in men and women? Are we different sexes? Are we just different species? Are there things that are different that are just not going to change?
I think there are some differences, but very few. And when you look at the bell curves, there's a little bit of difference on either end, but not really so much. And certainly there's not a difference in intelligence.
Has there been a period of time in history where there's been more reflection on gender and what it means and what it doesn't mean? Just seems to be a lot of questions that perhaps have never been raised. And what are those questions, and how is that going to affect us moving forward?
Well, when you get right down to it, gender is a social construct. It really is a social construct, because when you look across different cultures, you'll find that there may be one behavior that is approved of as female in one culture and not approved of as female, but approved of as male in another culture. The assignment of duties, for example, may be very, there's really a wide range. And it is speculated that in the very earliest days of humanity, that there was not that much of a gender binary as there is today. But since the advent of agriculture, since the advent of the various revolutions that have happened that have resulted in people thinking that women do this and men do that, in our culture, I think it has really had a negative effect. And not just a negative effect, but an effect that doesn't help us. It doesn't help us as a society.
But there are biological differences of men and women, specifically for this period of time, until we can figure it out differently. Women bear the burden or opportunity to give birth.
Yes.
Right? It's truly something that men cannot do by themselves, right? They need women to have babies.
It's true. I actually, there is a speculation that one of the reasons the gender binary became such a big thing is that before people knew exactly what caused pregnancy, I mean, they were like in awe of the fact that women could bear children, and that the power that women had by virtue of their reproductive capability terrified the guys. And so they had to do something to raise themselves in the social order.
There's been some sort of discussion around trad wives. I don't even know what that means, but like this concept of women staying home to raise the children.
I've been the traditional wife, and I've been the working woman as well. Now, for me, purpose in life is very important. And if your purpose is you want to be that mom, and that's what your purpose is, and you feel so strongly that that's what you want to do, you should do that. I have a daughter who that's what she wanted more than anything else. And that's fabulous. She's been a wonderful mother. But I think for so many women, again, like me, I realized, wait, there are there are some other things I want to do in this world. And I started noticing as I got involved in community service work, the women were doing all the frontline work and the men were getting all the credit and the leadership positions. And I thought, whoa, if there are civil rights, then women should have them too. And that's how I found my life purpose. And my life purpose is to ensure that every woman has the opportunity to give her best gifts to the world.
Well, you certainly have examples now, right, with Vice President Harris on the precipice of possibly becoming the next president of the United States. Are we making progress? Is that progress?
Some days it feels like we're going forward and backward about the same rate. I do believe that. And that is, the reason why I created and co-founded Take the Lead is to help women to deal with the world as it is while we're changing it to one that is fairer for both women and men.
What can women do better to support women? Right? Because it's anecdotal, but they're not always like thrilled with each other or aligned. But how do you rally all women to this clarion call of yours?
Right. So I will go back to what I learned about women's relationship with power. Is the reason when women don't support other women, it usually comes from a belief in scarce resources. A belief that, if I'm getting to be in the C-suite, I can't let any other women in because it might take away from me. But ultimately, the truth is, if I help you and you help me, we both have more. Now, I think younger women are definitely learning that so much more now than the first women into high-level roles tended to emulate the men in those roles. And younger women are more knowledgeable about, you just need to be yourself. You mentioned you were going to ask me, how can men help? And what I usually answer to that is one word. Listen. Just listen. Yeah, don't start solving my problem. Don't tell me what to do. Just listen. I just want you to listen. And I think when we start with listening to each other, then we have much more progress. We can make much more progress.
Are there distinct roles that fathers play? Is there something about being a man that is being a father that's needed? And just like a mother is needed? I
think we all need both in our lives. We all need both in our lives. And I again, to give you a personal example, one of my daughters was divorced when her two boys were in early teen years, and their father was sort of around, but not very much. And I came to understand how valuable it was to them to have my husband in their lives. And they have both said to me at different times that how much it helped them to appreciate their own masculinity, to have him in their lives and to get his counsel and to be able to talk to him. So I think it's, just as one of my daughters does not have children. And, there's all this conversation now about how terrible it is not to have children. Well, that's the other observation I have is it's extremely valuable for children to have adults who aren't their parents in their lives. They can often have conversations with those people that they can't have with their own parents. And they have this extra nurturing. And I think, there are how many kinds of families that can be successful? Any number of kinds of families that can be successful. Love that child, give them what they need to grow up, and everything will be fine.